Welcome back to Strawberry Ink. Today we're looking at the tragic death of Riley Gale, the powerful voice behind the Texas thrash metal band Powertrip. Riley Gale was born on April 30th, 1986. He was rising to fame as Powertrip's vocalist, but on August 24th, 2020, he died. He was just 34 years old. According to the Dallas County Medical Examiner's Office, his death was ruled as an accidental drug overdose. Really, the overdose itself did not kill him, but toxic effects occurred in his body from the fentanyl he took, with pulmonary edema, fluid buildup in the lungs as a contributing factor. Fentanyl overdoses can sometimes be reversed with naloxone, also known as Narcan, if it's administered quickly along with CPR if the victim's breathing has stopped. But if there's a long delay before discovery, resuscitation becomes impossible. In Riley's case, the big unanswered question is how he got the fentanyl. Reports confirmed that no prescriptions were found in the room. Riley did have a history of Xanax abuse, which may have made him more vulnerable to seeking substances elsewhere. But the thing is, he took fentanyl the day he died, so how did he even get that? Who sold him that? Some have speculated that he could have purchased it through Telegram channels or even at a music venue because, for example, some discos, it depends where, but if you go, there are people who are willing to sell you some of the drugs they got. Just go to bathrooms, corners, yada yada. And on Telegram, there are group chats where you could buy drugs. Lots of famous people use these chats. Well, they're called channels, but basically, dealers post their stuff. You get in touch with one, you start messaging, and the dealer sends you it via FedEx. It's usually LSD, mushrooms, marijuana, stuff like that. If the fentanyl was sold to him illegally, then that in itself would be a crime. But no charges or official investigations have been reported. And so, even though his death has been labeled accidental, the source of the drugs and whether someone bears responsibility remains an open mystery. In that sense, Riley Gale's passing is not only a tragedy for his fans and loved ones, but also a potential cold case. Fast forward to September 28th, 2025, a Sunday morning service in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan. It turned into one of the deadliest attacks on a church community in recent memory. The target was a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints meeting house. This is basically one of the Mormon churches. When you hear Latter-day Saints, it's Mormon. Hundreds of worshippers were present when the attacker, identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old veteran who loved Powertrip, would listen all the time. And when Riley Gale died, he stopped caring about life. He drove his pickup truck through the front doors, armed with a semi-automatic rifle and carrying gasoline. Sanford began firing and then set parts of the building on fire. Sanford served in the Marines and was deployed in Iraq. He lived in Burton, Michigan, a nearby town. Neighbors reported he often expressed hostility towards the Mormon faith, and some accounts suggest this animosity may have started after a failed relationship with a Mormon woman. They ended up breaking up. The results were devastating: 4 worshippers killed, 8 injured, and the church left partially destroyed by fire. Victims suffered both gunshot wounds and smoke inhalation injuries. The law enforcement response was fast. The first officer arrived within half a minute of the 911 call. Just 8 minutes after the attack began, Sanford was killed in a shootout with police. In the aftermath, investigators discovered signs of potential improvised explosive devices inside Sanford's pickup truck and possibly elsewhere on the property. They are now common through his digital devices and residence. This remains an ongoing investigation, and the FBI is hoping to uncover more about his planning motives. The injured survivors were taken to the Henry Ford Health as well as the Genesee Hospital, both in Grand Blanc. There they underwent treatment. Of the fatalities, 2 died inside the church, and 1 was taken out still alive but died later at the Genesee Hospital. Another was shot and killed at the scene. He died in the parking lot. Sanford himself was killed on site by the police. The Genesee County Medical Examiner's Office was tasked with examining the victims who died at the scene and the shooter. Their work formed the backbone of both the official death records and the criminal investigation. As of now, it has been confirmed that the shooter took down all of his victims. The police did not shoot any innocent people, and an autopsy concluded that the shooter was indeed killed by the police and did not commit suicide, unlike many others who commit these kinds of massacres. From Riley Gale's mysterious overdose in Dallas to the fire and gunfire in Grand Blanc Township, these cases remind us how quickly lives can be cut short, whether by drugs whose origins remain murky, or by the violence someone carrying hatred into a house of worship, or even online influences, somebody losing a beloved vocalist they liked and no longer caring about being alive. Both leave questions hanging in the air. Who sold Riley Gale that fentanyl? Could Sanford's rampage may have been intercepted before it erupted? If first responders acted quicker, would it have had been just a shooting and not a fire? If Riley Gale were still alive, would Sanford and his victims be still alive as well? A lot to wonder about, isn't it? Anyways, you may think that it's absurd or unusual for somebody to be angry over a faith, but that is very common, even in relationships. I knew a young autistic boy who got a girlfriend on Quora on the app online, a digital relationship, with a beautiful girl of Bulgarian descent in Alabama named Allie Jade Ilanova, one of my besties. She was Christian, and her mom then found out about the relationship and did not want her having a boyfriend, so she made them break up. And that poor boy, he now hates Christians. He said he was gonna block all Christians from his phone. That is how some conservative families of this nature work. No dating until you finish your studies, your schooling. Your parents must monitor what you see online, and you shall not use social media. Your television is restricted. You will not wear crop tops or no-show socks. If you don't want your ankles to be covered, you're just not wearing socks or shoes. Anyways, this is Strawberry Ink. We tell these stories not just to document them, but to remember the lives affected and to shine light on the unanswered. May those affected rest in peace and have a good rest of your day. To the rest of you listening, thank you.